Muscular Development presents Global Muscle Radio with your host, Giles Thomas, joined by his co-host, AJ. From the Pump Media Studios, this podcast is sponsored by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Get ready for Global Muscle Radio.
Current training and diet consists of these days?
I mean,
you look in great shape, you know?
Everything I'm doing now is like, I guess it's a constant evolution. So it's changing, but I guess about five years ago, I was still doing what I could do as far as bodybuilding training.
Okay.
But it was limited because I've got, let's let that airplane go overhead. I said it's a little helicopter. Yeah, anyway, so, you know, I was doing what I was used to doing. I was doing the bodybuilding training, and I was limited because I've got a bicep and tricep injury on the left side, which everybody knows about from my career, I guess. And also, I got a shoulder injury on that side, which actually it was already injured. It was already a partially torn supraspinatus from the bodybuilding, from all the heavy lifting, which is not an unusual injury.
Oh, was that a build-up, like a wear and tear thing over the years?
Yeah, wear and tear over the years from all the heavy pressing and so on, and not having the knowledge of how to, you know, support the joints and work those smaller muscles in the rotator cuff and everything like that. You got so much more information now that we didn't have in the 80s and 90s. It was just pretty much macho, gung-ho, you know, get the heavy weights and blast it. So probably now with the knowledge I've got, I could avoid it or at least deal with it better when I had it. Said this guy, I think, is flying over trying to...
He's looking for Dorian.
Trying to film me or something.
Yeah, it's your next client.
Okay. Piss off, man. All right, he's gone now. So, you know, I could train my legs fine. I could train my back fairly well to a degree. But I couldn't really train shoulders that well. I couldn't train chest hardly much because all the power from the pressing was gone on that left side. And if I tried to do, like, barbell exercises or something, it was just shifting. Then I was getting problems with the right shoulder, and I was going to a chiropractor one day. He told me, it's like, you know, fuck, man, these guys are pretty persistent. He was telling me people didn't used to have back and hip problems when they used to squat around the campfire. Like people used to sit in a squat for hours around a campfire or something. So. And then, I don't know why, he said, have you ever tried yoga? And I was like, no, but I'm kind of interested in it for some reason. Anyway, so I went home and I was like, you know, try to sit in a squat, right? I mean, I used to squat when I was young, like ass to the floor, like Tom Platz, and it was no problem. And I did karate before that. We did deep squats, freehand, no weights and everything. So I was like, shit, it's really difficult for me to get in that position. And I feel tight around my hips. So I got these kind of little problems that I accumulated from years of lifting, and I decided to do something about it. And funny enough, I don't know if we're going to go on the subject of psychedelics, but it was after an experience I had with the psychedelics. I'm like, man, your body's all fucked up. You need to do something about it. So you need to do yoga. And I didn't even know anything about yoga. First thing is I bought a book and I started reading about it. And then I'm like, I need to get a teacher. But I'm not just going to go somewhere and like go to a place or something. I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to ask around and I'll find a teacher who's suitable sooner or later. So that's what I did. And I kind of fell in love with doing yoga. So I've been doing that now for about probably 3 or 4 years. Like I try to do twice a week.
Twice a week, okay.
So that's something really consistent that I do that's helped with my mobility, my flexibility. And I mean, it's not only a physical exercise. It's, you know, yoga means union. So the whole thing is you're trying to, like, have union between your body, your mind, and your spirit. So it was like hard at first because it's almost opposite to what I do in the gym. In the gym, you got to push, right? You got to push.
You said this on Saturday.
You got to use aggression.
Yeah.
And you got to use power. in yoga, you've got to like,
Opposite, huh?
you've got to like breathe, and you've got to relax, and you've got to ease into the pose. And if you try too hard, it just makes it harder and harder. And the first few sessions were really tough because I got this thing inside, and I'd really try, and my balance was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stand on one leg, and I'm trying, and the harder I try, and the more I tense up, the more I fucking fall over. And I was falling over, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then my yoga teacher just looked at me calmly and said, "Dorian, fuck is not a yoga word." So I got into the yoga. I'm still doing that. I still love doing that. I generally do it in the morning by the sea. So it's just like a beautiful start to the day. Get your energy up and everything.
Do you feel
doing that?
Sorry, Dorian. Dorian.
Recently I started Pilates as well. I'm doing that once a week. And I remember a few years ago, I saw Jay Cutler doing Pilates. And I was still in my, hardcore bodybuilding mentality. And I was like, what the fuck is this Pilates stuff, man? It looks gay. It's like, what the fuck is he doing that for? But now I understand. You work all these supporting muscles and your structural and your core. And so I'm doing that as well. And I'm in Spain, and I started biking, like cycling. And I used to do that as a kid. So I go cycling up the mountains here, which is great. Beautiful views and good cardio.
How far?
You can't do that year round in UK. Here you can do it year round. So I really enjoy that as well. And I go in the gym with weights probably once a week now and do some light training and some strengthening stuff for my shoulder injury and things like that. So it's more kind of functional stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do like a 60 kilo bench press. I mean, I can't do it. So why I'm going to knock myself out trying to do stuff that's not benefiting me. And so my whole training is like, what do you need right now in your life? Do you need to be like, and it's very easy to get caught up in this, and maybe I was also to a degree. Like, first of all, you're comfortable doing it. And second of all, it's like you feel like people kind of expect it of you. Like, you're 6 times Mr. Olympia. You got to maintain like something of this physique and so on. But eventually I just said, screw that, man. I don't live my life for other people. I live my life for myself, and everybody should think like that, I believe.
Yeah.
So what do I need? I need good health and fitness. I need good cardio. I need more mobility and flexibility, and I need to be able to like do whatever I want to do. I need to be able to swim and ride my bike, go hiking, and really enjoy things. And I need a functional body for that. And it's not necessary for me to be 18, 19 stone, which was whereabout I was.
That'll give you a decent judgment going in, I suppose. After that, it's all focused on the Olympia. No more guest posing, probably.
Sorry, going back to Flex Lewis, how do you think he'll do as an open when he comes back next year? How do you see him doing?
To say that he does it, because, I mean, life happens. He's got business and family. Let's say he's going to come back in 2020. I mean, dude, he's got a phenomenal physique. The only thing is, I don't think he needs to try to put too much muscle on. If he does that, I fear that it's going to be almost because he has a pretty physique. So I think too much muscle, like if he added 20 pounds of muscle, it would make him look bad.
I spoke to Flex at the press conference at the Olympia, and I said, Flex, I've got a figure in my head of how I think you'd look your best. And I had 225. I said, before I say it, you say yours. And he said 226. He said, that's me at my absolute best.
Yeah. I think I would agree with you. And pushing too much more than that, I think will just make him, I don't want to say look blocky because he has a tiny waist, but like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not going to look normal. Like, he still kind of has a good flow to him and everything. But I think if he puts on that much muscle, he's just going to look like a muscle-bound guy.
Favorite exercise for each body part? Quick.
So for legs, it would be a hack squat.
Okay.
Again, simply because you don't have to think. You just get on it and you do.
Yeah.
Whereas with a back squat, there really has to be a lot of thought process there to make sure you're trying to get what you're trying to train from it. Hack squat, it's a foolproof leg builder. And the same with the leg press, really. So it'd be between the two of those.
What rep range, by the way, do you prefer?
I work in all rep ranges. I'll do 5 rep work and I'll do 20 rep work. there won't be any one rep range that I like to work in. I try to get strong,
mix it up
at everything. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So that would be my quad builder. My hamstring would be any hamstring curl variation.
Yeah.
Favorite glute exercise will be a glute bridge, like a barbell hip thrust type movement.
Yeah.
My favorite lat exercise would be an undergrip pull down, but probably on the hammer strength machine, something that's slightly in front of you so you can drive the elbow down.
Okay.
Your favorite exercise for back building?
Lat.
Lat build.
Really?
Lat specifically, yes.
Okay, that was because that was a bit of a Dorian Yates one, wasn't it? When he was training with Mike Mensa, that was his underhand. That was his favorite exercise.
That exact movement. That is.
Yeah. Bolt upright.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Back arched. Yeah.
Because like that can't be disputed in terms of mechanics, to be honest. Because
I'm shocked. Hack squat. Sorry, go on, carry on.
So
this is interesting. Very interesting.
In terms of upper back, anything with a chest support.
Okay.
So anything that we brace against and just perfectly retract our scapula.
Okay. Like a one-arm hammer row, or?
I don't really. I prefer it 2 arms.
Okay.
Because if we're doing a single arm, again, it's quite hard to concentrate on just hitting the upper back, because if you start to rotate, the lat will start to come into movement more so.
Okay.
Whereas if it's 2 arms at the same time, it kind of keeps you locked into a position where it's just perfect scapular retraction.
Okay.
So like a chest-supported T-bar, for example, would be one of my favorites there. In terms of side delts, I don't like dumbbell laterals anymore.
What? I don't like that?
I've heard this before. Yeah.
Sure. So if we think in terms of like the way a dumbbell elicits its resistance, when our arm is straight down, the force is really, really low. And when we start to move, it's still really, really low. And it's at this point, when our arm is perpendicular to the ground, the resistance is crazy high. So the variation in strength curve means that we typically will pick a weight that we can move from here to here, but then to get it all the way into the contracted phase, people will be throwing dumbbells around all over the place.
So there's no tension.
Just horrendous for.
Yeah.
And exactly, you're not keeping perfect tension. So for me, it'll be a side raise machine, or even using a cable machine. Again, I know Dorian was a big fan.
Yeah.
The cable
behind. Do you do it behind the body or in front?
Yeah, either or.
Yeah.
Either or. The only thing that I do different to Dorian is that I don't grip the handle. I put a wrist cuff on.
Okay.
So I don't have to think about gripping with my hand.
Like a hook, you mean?
Perfect. Exactly. So all I'm thinking now is just contracting my side delt.
That's interesting.
So Dorian had it pretty well. Obviously, he had it pretty right with everything. But in terms of actually his understanding of biomechanics with his exercise selection, you can't fault anything that Dorian did.
Yeah.
Because he didn't squat either. He favoured the hack and the leg press.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, biceps
carry on.
now.
Yeah, carry on.
Biceps. Anything again that we can brace our arm against. So anything that means that we don't. So again, Dorian favoured the single arm curl with his arm braced against the pad.
Yeah.
I prefer actually seated, and I will sit or lean against maybe like a Smith machine, so I can brace my arm into the machine, the Smith behind me, the bar, and then just curl up without my upper arm leaving what I'm bracing against.
Yeah.
So then at any given moment, the bicep is all that's working.
This is complete opposite of what I was expecting to hear, actually.
Let it keep on.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. Sorry. Carry on.
So triceps, the dip, to be honest.
Okay.
I think that the dip is going to allow us to overload the muscle. It puts a stretch on all 3 heads of the tricep. If you get very strong at dipping with immaculate form, you're going to have great arms. It's just very rare to see a very efficient dipper with small arms.
So you do that for triceps more than chest?
I will dip in both sessions, just because of the crossover between the two.
Okay.
I'll concentrate different in terms of where I put the stretch. So in a chest session, I'll take the range through its fullest range, and I'll make sure I feel a stretch with my chest.
Yeah.
With an arm session, or if I'm trying to train the tricep, I'll try to pause more so and keep my elbows slightly more tucked and make sure I'm driving through the tricep.
Yeah.
So just the execution aspects will change slightly.
Yeah.
But that's a really useful movement to train both the chest and the triceps.
Okay. Yeah. Have we got any body parts left?
Chest.
What are we missing?
Chest and calves.
Chest, neck, chest, calves.
Ears.
So chest. anything that we can bring the humerus across the body to fully shorten the chest. So the machines, so a barbell for me is pretty inefficient. Like, I love to incline barbell press. There was a movement I got really, really strong at, but it never really reflected in more chest growth. Okay. So I think really a dumbbell press is going to be my favorite movement. But the only reason I don't do them anymore is because they are a pain in the ass, warming up and getting
200 pounds. So it's...
I have no idea how Luke can still be bothered to do them.
Yeah, Luke Sandow. Yeah, I saw a video today. He was doing 200-pound dumbbells, and he was like, yeah. And he gets them up himself. Yeah,
I know. Luke's clearly a better man than me because I need someone to pass them up to.
Yeah. I'm feeling that.
So I'll then maybe use any of the hammer strength variation machines.
Okay. Yeah.
I can comfortably load up and then just trap my chest really hard against.
Yeah. Okay.
Calves, don't ask me. I have the worst calves ever.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
But for the calf, anything where you can just create a great stretch.
Yeah.
Really, the emphasizing the stretch aspect on the calf is like we'll take what Pekulski likes to do for calves because he probably has some of the best. Is that he'll spend a period of time in the stretch position. So it might be like a 5-second eccentric and then maybe 5 seconds in the stretch position before then coming back out.
Ow.
So that I know Ben did that on the toe press for a long period of time, which built him the calves he has still.
Okay.
I mean, as you know, Hadi, I've competed with Hadi a few times before. I beat him twice.
2013.
He beat me once.
2013.
I like how he says I beat him twice.
2013, I 2013, which is the world champion. Hadi is a great bodybuilder. He's improved a lot. Okay. But the thing is, like, he hasn't competed with the top. When you compete at the Olympia stage with the top guys, and then that's it. You with the top guys. You should. And then, yes, if he wins, that means he is the best.
Yeah.
But now the way they're talking about Hadi, let him compete. Let him. I would love to compete with him because when we used to compete as an amateur, I was competing 85. He has to drop his weight down. Right. He avoided competing with me.
Can you beat Hadi in 212? If you go man in 2019, who would win?
I would love to be in 212. I would love to have him there. To be honest, as God honest, I would love to have him there. He's got massive. He's got whatever, but he still hasn't got. I don't know. There is a beauty of the physique. It's like, okay, lines. He's got that, but to be honest, I don't know if a lot of guys they've seen. He's trying to play the games, which is he has to be bigger. He's thick at his waist.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Sorry?
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. I think he's brought it back down again. Because I saw him in San Marino and his waist was thicker, but I think he's brought it down a little bit, mate. I think he's got it right now.
No. I'm talking about not the waist from down. It's from here. It's quite thick.
Right. Okay.
It's definitely thick. What he's trying to do, if you see at the Toronto, Toronto is that the last
Vancouver,
the last show. What's in his shoulders?
I don't know.
Listen. I love bodybuilding. You know.
Yes.
Don't cheat. Okay. Most of bodybuilders they do these things, but it looks bad on him. Everybody saw that. So he wants to get these things to be wider at the top to cover what he's got in his midsection. You can't do that, man. It looks on him. That's what I mean. Get him to compete at the Olympia with the top, with every single winner, and then I'd love to have him. He could win. He is a great bodybuilder. I know him.
Amazing.
The way he trains in Iran. I know what he trains and how he trains. That guy, he used to train with a very, very bare feet. He hasn't got even money to buy trainers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Bare feet?
I mean, I know his background big time. With the Iranian team, because me and Qatar, there's a guy he's called Ali Tabrizi. You know Ali Tabrizi?
Yeah.
He used to compete at 90, so he was like Hadi was little there, and he's really like a young boy. And they tell him, he said he's a great bodybuilder. He's good. He's that. Yeah. He said, he's a very poor guy. He can't even pay his ticket, or he can't pay the fees for him to come to compete at the world champion or the Asian champion. Yeah. And I know that guy, he worked very hard. Yeah. So whatever he put is 100%. I'll give him like whatever he did great. He did definitely. And I wish they give him the visa this year. To be honest, it shouldn't be like, it's a shame. Really, it's a shame. I mean, everybody wants him. He's got a massive followers. Everybody wants him to be at the Olympia. So why not? He works hard. We suffer, man. I know. We do really a lot suffer to get to this level, to reach, to show what we've got to this, to the crowd. But I wish they give him the visa. So for me, it would be nice to compete with him. So we competed with the top. Yes. I want to compete. I don't want to compete with like people just to compete easy win. No. I want to compete with the top guys, and then when you win, you even feel it more.
I mean, guest pose last weekend.
No, I saw the video. He looked pretty impressive.
You were impressed? What? Yeah, were you shocked by that?
I think, listen, I think Rami's impressive anyway. Is he improved? I mean, I think he's always looked the same. Last year, I mean, when he got second, he looked good. But last year he was, I don't know what happened. There was some issues why they placed him as low as, what, he get seventh last year or sixth or something?
Sixth.
But I don't know what's he looking so good for.
We think he's going to do a post-Olympia show to qualify for next year.
But this is the problem, guys. Okay, you talk about ambassador role. Talk about it. Why are you going to just not talk about? Oh, I'm getting ready for this show. Like, give your fans something to talk about. Like,
give them something to chew on.
I'm getting ready for Italy. Like, why keep everyone guessing? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me.
And that's exactly my point that I've seen over the last year with Rami. I love Big Rami.
I agree.
But I don't like this new... Why can't I just call you and say, are you competing? Just say no. Why is there so much...
This is the issue I have with the Rami situation. Rami decided not to do the Olympia because he said he had a shoulder injury, right? And within a month's time, he's in the gym training crazy, doing presses and everything else, 5 plates on the hammer machine. I thought you had a shoulder injury. Well, I don't get it. You didn't do the Olympia for an injury reason, but you're training full capacity. What's... And something about a special invite. Why should he get a special invitation? He had the opportunity to go compete, and he didn't. So... Is he injured or not injured? Or, I mean, what's the deal? I mean, we all seen the same thing. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct.
The only thing to make it clear, Big Rami has not asked for a special invitation.
Yeah.
I thought he did on his Instagram, someone said.
So did I, but it's very unclear. But we talked to Bob Cutler in this episode, and he confirmed that Big Rami has never asked for.
Okay. So it was the fans asking for him.
Correct.
I was talking to Sean Roden, this is about maybe, 5-6 weeks ago, and he said to me, Giles, I'm still prepping. Obviously, this is after all the news came out, and they said you couldn't do the Olympia. And he said, Giles, I'm still prepping. And we've looked on his Instagram. He's still training. He looks like he's dieting. What were your feelings on that when you heard that he was doing that? What was your feelings?
Well, number one, I mean, we talked about this before, I think, did we? To Sean Roden?
Briefly, yeah.
Well, he didn't do what he's accused of, obviously. You know what I mean? It's just that, he has to clear his name, and this is going to take some time. And he's probably hoping that it will clear before the Olympia, which I don't believe it will, because, the justice system's not that fast in the United States.
But why prep? Why prep?
Because I think this is what keeps his mind focused. He got to get away from the shit that he's in. So you got to have a couple of hours a day where you don't think about your case. You're being accused of something that you didn't do. Go to the gym and do what you do. You know what I mean? And have a couple of hours a day where you don't have to think about that bullshit. Because other than that, if it's not in the gym, what is he doing? All day he's listening to how the world is talking about all the other guys potentially winning the Olympia. Nobody puts his name back in there, and he's the reigning champ. So he needs to stay focused, needs to do something else other than think about a case.
But it's only the Olympia he can't do. What's to stop him doing Italy the week after, or the Romania show in November? Do you think he'll jump in one of those shows?
And would you recommend him to do one of those shows?
Yeah.
No and no.
Why?
Because there's no fucking... Can I curse on your show?
Yes, you can. We do.
There's no fucking way he can focus and prepare like he missed Olympia coming to defend his title. There's always something in the back of his mind. So he's just training just to keep his time, just to keep occupied. Yeah. He just don't want to be sitting at home thinking all kinds of stuff. So he's not. By looking at his videos, he's not. I wouldn't have him in contention looking the way he does right now.
Yeah, but he's clothed. You can't. Can you really tell?
Yes, we have seen him in the gym next to Stanimal.
Yeah, but
I've seen videos and pictures, and it just doesn't look like and somebody that can win the Olympia in 2 weeks.
Can you tell though when they're fully clothed in hoodies?
No, but he's released pictures of himself in singlets now.
I'm talking about post-video, tank top pictures.
Yeah.
And condition. I'm talking condition. We know Sean is not the biggest guy anyways, but he's not. He doesn't look like somebody that's going to win the Olympia in 2 weeks.
Are you sure they're new pictures? Because he reposts old pictures, doesn't he? And I think sometimes, no?
I'm talking about a posing video that he was doing.
100% new.
Well, I mean, if you post some old shit, if you still, it's a mistake for us to be. But I'm just going by what I see.
Okay.
So
if it's old, I ain't looked at it as new.
Yeah.
Judging by his haircut and stuff. So, but still, I mean, he looks good, but he doesn't look like he's going to be winning the Olympia in 2 weeks. And for him to do a show in Italy, he has nothing to win to doing that show. For $10,000, to might lose, get beat. Yeah. He's still reigning Mr. Olympia champion for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but surely you don't want that prep to go to waste if you are properly, really prepping. I mean, I just thought better than nothing. Finish off the year on a high, win Romania, get some hype built for next year. Hopefully, when all this mess is cleared up. What do you think? I mean, I'm just.
If you're not 100%, why would you want to go against these guys a week after the Olympia when everybody said he's bad?
Yeah, but he probably knows he can't do the Olympia, yet he's still prepping. I'm trying to work out the mindset of why he's doing that.
Still prepping because he still thought and he still believed in his mind that, he cleared before the Olympia and then AMI is going to clear him to jump into the show. Yeah. That's what he was hoping for. But still, with the hope. I've done this before. I've prepped for an Arnold where I wasn't invited. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For an Arnold, my first Arnold in 2000, I prepped for the Arnold and I wasn't invited. Because I did the Ironman, and they told me if I placed top 5, I'm gonna get a special invite for the Arnold a week later.
Yeah.
And I'm 6th.
Oh no.
So I didn't get the. I mean, nobody talked about the Arnold, so I was still prepping, half-ass prepping.
Yeah.
Until Wednesday night, where I got a call from Peter McGough saying Jim Mannion just confirmed you got an invite. That was my first Arnold.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that's only a couple of days. There's not much you can lose in a couple of days. Yeah. But it's been weeks and weeks of having this case going on, having to read what people say, negative and positive. It's not all negative. It's not all positive. But it's a lot of stress. And stress and preparation does not really go well together. But it's good for him just to stay occupied, keep his mind, focus on something else other than, what's going to happen with this case. But I highly doubt that he is prepping like he is going to be going to the Olympia and like he is going to defend his title.
One question. How do you think Flex Lewis will do next year when he comes back as an open? How do you think, how much potential do you think he's got for 2020?
Potential? I think he should have done it this year. I think he should have done it this year. Arguably, if he didn't stop doing what he did last year, he would have been Mr. Olympia this year. Really? I said it to Neil Hill a long time ago. What are you holding this kid back for? He should be an open bodybuilder. But for whatever reason, financial, sponsors, whatever, they thought, listen, it's better to have him as an Olympia champion at 212 than to have him in the top 3. I think Hadi didn't need to win the Olympia to be recognized as one of the best in the world. He's right now. He's like the president of Iran. Okay?
Yeah,
yeah. I've seen that.
And he doesn't have the trophy.
No.
Yeah.
And guess what? If Flex Lewis was in the show and got 3rd place, he would have been like the president of Wales, right? I mean,
no, I am.
Yeah, I know you are. But what I'm saying is, James, there wouldn't have been an expectation for James to be Mr. Olympia in his first shot in the open category.
Would have Flex beat Brandon Curry?
He would have definitely been a guy that I could have had as a favorite going in against that. There's no reason why I would have thought that Flex Lewis would lose the Open Olympia. Had he made the decision in January of 2019 that he's doing open, I would have been on that James Flex Lewis bandwagon because he has the condition to go with the size and the things that Brandon lacks are the very things that James excels in. He's got the massive calves. He's got the hard, grainy hamstrings. Yeah. He's got a back that he's got a back that he can dial in. He's very shallow in the chest, and this is where Brandon's V-shaper. But Brandon is a top-heavy bodybuilder, and James would have been able to exploit the legs, especially in the side chest pose, right? Yeah. So that would have been a comparison in a dogfight that I would have wanted to see. But while he would have been exposing Brandon Curry's weaknesses, he would have been showing the other guys their age because he's young. He probably would have beat Dexter Jackson. I know Dexter's going to hate me. He would have beat Dexter. I think he would have beat William Bonac. I've thought for many years that he's better than William Bonac, and Bonac is having great success in the open category. But James is just a better bodybuilder than William. When they turn around to hit that rear lat spread, James actually opens up. I know he hates it when I call him James, but I'm older than him, son. When he opens up to do his back lat spread, when he hits his back lat spread, he would make William Bonac look small and narrow.
No.
So you have Flex?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No, I don't. I got
Flex Lewis over William Bonac.
Okay.
On literally on the back lat spread.
Without
on the rear double bicep.
Not the lat spread.
Okay, wait.
No, come on, not the lat spread.
Listen, I'm telling you right now. Here's what your homework is, guys. Find a picture of each of them, put it together, and let's see it. I want you to post them doing a back lat spread.
No, I think...
a back. Listen. That's where the contest is won and lost. Find the back double bicep and find the back lat spread. Put those two together, okay? Because that's where Mr. Olympia's won and lost. And once you've done that, Giles, all right, and you've had your you had your wake up call. Turn them around to the front. Turn them around to the front.
Yeah.
Turn them around to the front. I want to see the side chest. I want to see the front lat spread. I want to see the front double bicep. James Flex Lewis is the better bodybuilder.
Oh, I just
you know who you need to ask? Ask Neil Hill.
Flex Lewis's rear double
Neil Hill is going to get paid next year when James is going to be open.
Flex Lewis's rear double bicep next to Bonac. That's very neck and neck because they're top to toe very detailed. The rear lat spread, I think that's Flex's weakest pose.
You said it's close. Wait, you said it's close. How? Okay, let's start with that back double bicep. You got to start at the bottom because you're sitting beneath them. Yeah. You have to look at the calves. Yeah. Who wins? Calves. Calves. Who wins?
Flex.
Okay. Who wins the hamstrings?
Oh, I don't know.
That's not even close.
Really?
I'm gonna find you a picture of him.
Send it to me. We'll put it on the Global Muscle Instagram.
The hamstrings aren't. And even the lower back. James has some peekaboo Christmas tree striations in his lower back that William can only dream of. Now, granted, their back lat spreads are not wide because they're small guys. They're both narrow. They're both small and narrow.
Yeah.
But when James opens up his back lat spread, you just see more. I don't know if it's because of William's dark skin.
Yeah.
But Flex's skin is thinner, so you see more detail in that back lat spread. The back double bicep, it's over. Flex Lewis kills him. The rear deltoids, it's over. The traps, it's over.
That's Bonac's strongest pose.
I know it is.
I've got them on screen here.
Which is why I'm telling you.
Hang on, we've got...
Sean, I've got them on screen here, and you are absolutely right.
Of course I'm right. What's wrong with you? I'm an expert.
I'm going...
It's going to be... One thing is for sure. It's going to be great seeing Flex Lewis return.
I want to see...
I don't know where to start. Honestly, the only thing I'm not happy about it is that most of the guys were again not in condition. No, and if there's a title where all of you guys, top 5, top 10, or from last year could have that, could win this title, and you bring this, not ready physique on stage, I think it's just it's disrespectful to the professional bodybuilding. It's you look back, like if just 5-6 years back, top 10, they were all in shape, and right now it's just even if you look at Cedric McMillan, he got an invitation, everything, but he's done nothing for it to bring it. So
I agree.
I'm just disappointed, but not, it's not personal or something. I'm just disappointed because I'm an athlete or a former athlete. And if I see this, it just, makes me a little bit sad, right? And I don't understand the point of view of these athletes.
What, Dennis?
I don't see I used to have a goal to be the best I can be. It doesn't matter what. All right. That was my goal. It was my thing to do in the prep.
Dennis, why do you think? Because the level of conditioning was, like you say, from 5-6 years ago, there's quite a disparity there. Why do you think that so many of the guys used to be in condition, and now some of the guys really kind of aren't bringing their absolute best condition? What do you think has changed? You've only retired, you stopped competing last year or whatever, so it's fairly recent for you. But why do you think that is? Why do you think there's such a difference now?
I think it's also at my time when I was competing, there was the main issue, the size. The people, the athletes don't want to lose weight. They don't gonna go down with the weight just to bring the condition, the sharpness. And right now, I don't understand why it is like this. It was at my time also the issue. Most of them didn't bring it. But when I was amateur and just got my pro card, like top 6, top 7, top 8, they were rock hard on stage. But I think it's the size, and we can do a lot of things wrong in the last couple of days, but you're gonna look just watery maybe, or overloaded, or just thin, or not impressive enough. But if you still have this lack in condition because of fat or anything else, it means you're not or you've been lazy. That's my point. That you've been lazy. If you're not bringing the condition you're supposed to bring, there's no point to discuss it, because I see it a little different, because I wanted to be that dry, that hard. You remember Dorian Yates was telling everyone he had problems with his feet, because there was no fat, no nothing, just skin and bone, right? So I had the same thing. I had the same problems. So I couldn't walk. Like after Olympia, the following shows, I couldn't even walk backstage. I needed to put some shoes on, because I was sore. And this is what I mean. You have to bring your condition to a next level to be able to win, be competitive. And this is what I'm, not okay with, and I'm a little bit disappointed and sad what happened this Olympics.
Especially when the title is wide open this year. Yeah. That people weren't willing to suffer, when this year any man could have won. Yeah, well, within reason. Yeah. So what about
some of them, of course, because if you know the title is wide open, like never before, right? Yeah. The champ is not there, the 8-time champ is not there. You're gonna kick your ass, man, in the prep. So this is it. But you never know what is, what's going on in the prep. You can have great times in the prep, you can have bad times. So just my opinion on what I saw.
Yeah. When do you think I've got this? What part and what of the whole Olympia show of those 2 days? Because I remember when. I think I really saw a real look in your eye of I have got this. When they moved you into the center and you did that and you went like that, and you could I was like, he's got it. He's got it. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
I was a little bit, Friday, I was a little bit, obviously I was speaking it into existence. So on Friday, everywhere, I must say Hadi Chupan and Bonak, fantastic bodybuilders. Very good. It was close with them. This wasn't like it was a close, they were close. But on Friday, because the one thing I've been worried about with Curry is his posing routines. Sometimes I want a little bit more, on the boards I've been vocal about those routines are a little bit, come
on Brandon, step it up.
When you did the routine in the yellow thong, oh, the confidence. And at the end, when you said against Bonak and Hadi, the way you looked at the judge and you were the man in charge.
Holding his poses more.
Holding it more. And you knew you won then, didn't you?
Well, the whole process in general was kind of like I was just grabbing those pieces of confirmation that this weekend was going my way. I mean, even when it came to picking up my car, I had something bad happen to one of the cars I picked up. It was just a little bit too low profile, and I think the valet messed it up trying to park it. But then my wife turns around. She's like, you got to get a new car. Just get that one back. So she goes out of her way, get another car that was just, man, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? And it was nice. And the guy who brought it to me, you know, he was like, he looked me up, so he knew what he was expecting. And, you know, he was just real diligent with me. And I met some really good people that whole weekend. Like the whole weekend, I met good people, had good interactions, and every moment seemed like it was a confirmation of what was about to happen. I didn't feel any stress. I didn't feel any resistance whatsoever.
I interviewed Brandon in the hotel room, and I was like, "Are you sure you're doing a contest in 2 days? You're so laid back." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'm just doing what I need to do, and I'm focused, relaxed." And I mean, I could see, Mr. Chilled.
Yeah, it was just kind of like walking into something, and it was just a different competitive experience for me, because I was coming there expecting to actually really compete, and I was looking for those moments to feel like that was the case. And it was almost like I was left like empty-handed when it came to that feeling that I was looking for, and it was just like, okay, I want to be here. I want to have this happen, but I want to be humble enough just not to just ultimately expect it just because, you know. You know, I want to make sure I'm working enough towards what I want in the process. And so I just looked at it like that, but I'm just telling you, it was the most different win that I've ever experienced in my life. You know, it was just not the same as any win I've ever had.
Do you like how the class is growing? Because I think the figure class, there's more attention now. I think there's more profiles coming out of that class now. Do you like the evolution of the class? Do you like the progress?
I absolutely do, because back in the day, it was very, very, like, just small.
Yeah.
And for a lot of girls like me, we're not naturally small people. We put on muscle, we carry muscle, and that's just how our bodies are built. Okay. So once that transition happened, where it went from being more like super, super streamlined, thinner kind of looking, into like more muscular, athletic type of looks, I feel like that benefited the class overall, because there are a lot of athletic women out there. We just didn't have a space. So for me, when I was first coming out, I had to run repeat 800s all day, do hours of cardio just to get down to stage, just because I carry muscle. And so once the class changed, it allowed a lot more women like me to come in and have healthier preps, really just enjoy training, get on stage and showcase what muscular shapes can look like versus being super, super straighter.
I felt like this year, I felt like some of the conditioning wasn't as extreme, because I noticed Jessica didn't come in as hard as she did at the Arnold Australia. And I like that, because I didn't like it where a couple of years ago, certainly I felt like it was looking more towards like physique type level conditioning, and I thought that wasn't a direction it needed to go in, because I don't think it's you need to be able to differentiate between physique and figure. So I was really happy that, you know, the look that you, Latoya, who was third place? Not Jessica was fourth. Oh, Nadia Wyatt.
Wyatt, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I find Nadia Wyatt's, her condition's very extreme, but I thought overall the conditioning wasn't dry with the gaunt faces. I thought it was what do you think?
I think that's a really key thing to point out, and that's one aesthetic I always try to strive for, is just keeping it as soft as it can be, but still athletic. Like that's the athletic little bit of conditioning has to be there, just so you're not looking like the average Joe Schmo off the street. You're gonna have to have that lean, especially when you're on stage under certain lights. If your body fat is too high, you're gonna look fluffy, and you may not be fluffy, but just on the stage, you're gonna add some weight perceptively. So I think it's been a lot better. Everything has calmed down, because Sandy has done a lot of interviews about what she wants to see for figure, just in terms of full muscle bellies, good conditioning, lines but not overly striated, things like that. Sandy's been really clear about what she wants to see, and I think that the judging has followed suit with her guidelines of what she wants to see for the category.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandy Williams.
And also, Ray J, she delivers that knockout punch when she does the quarter turn.
Yeah.
Honestly, guys, I said to you, didn't I? I said to you, Sydney, Sydney, I've got to tell you, go watch the interview from the arena. I said, you've got the best quarter turn in the business, bar none.
Yeah.
She does that little hip swivel, and then it's like she hits the pose, and it's like game over.
Yeah,
that's true.
Is Hakeem gonna be the last man standing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hakeem, I would like to see you maybe. Do you not fancy going back to Toronto as well? Because that's where Juan beat you there, wasn't it?
Yeah. I will also. I had a. Believe it or not, I think my best package for this year would have been Honor Brazil. If I show you some of the pictures,
you missed your flight. You missed your flight, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I show you some of the pictures I have for the Honor Brazil, you would not believe the way I was looking leading up to that show.
What kind of body weight?
I didn't know I had to get a visa.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had to get a visa to go to Brazil, and literally they turned me away. You know, and I got frustrated. I got pissed off because I thought I couldn't make the flight. So I would never tell my coach that, but I can say it on camera now because it's over with.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a box. I had a big box of muffins. And I was so pissed off, I started eating all the muffins.
Oh, really? Did you look worse or better after it? Did you look worse or better right after it? No.
I think I looked worse because I eat the whole box of muffins, and it was like about 8 muffins in there.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes you can look better when you fill out and junk loads.
And then after I found out, somebody gave us a call and they told us we could get a same-day visa.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I already did the damage, and I actually still went and got the same-day visa. Showed up 2 hours before the show, got on stage, and still placed 3rd place.
I know, 3rd place, yeah. Essa Obiad in 4th, and Juan Morel Brandao 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, because you know I was bloated. Like holding water from the flight.
Yeah,
we didn't get a chance to cut water or anything like that. We just stepped on stage, just stand on, step on stage. We didn't cut water, nothing. And I still placed top 3.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was that way right there was a very great experience for me, showing how basically mentally focused I am to actually finishing what I started, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk. I mean,